G'day trendsetters, John from Gravel Cyclist. Welcome to the next episode of Ask the Gravel Cyclist crew a question. First of all, you'll have to pardon my voice. I'm recovering from a light head cold right now, so my voice is a little bit raspy, so hopefully you can forgive me for that. This question comes to us from Ben Haynes, and he hails from Adelaide, South Australia, which ironically is where I'm from. But nowadays Ben lives in the Bay Area of California. And his question is, what are your recommendations for tyres at Dirty Kanza 200 for the wet race or a dry race? So my personal recommendations, as in what I'm going to be taking to this year's race, one of the tyres for the dry option is right beside me. It's the Panaracer Gravel King SK, and it's a new version which measures 700 by 38C, but it also has a toughened up sidewall for additional puncture protection, very important in the Flint Hills of Kansas. And it weighs about 435 grams, these samples here. So a reasonably light tyre. It puffs up to about 40 millimeters wide. That's my dry option. And for the wet option, I'm taking the Panaracer Gravel King Mud, which I have reviewed on the website earlier, so you can check that out. That's a nice tyre when conditions are quite disgusting. Hopefully we won't be experiencing that this year. Other choices to consider would be the Maxxis Rambler for dry and the Terravale range of tyres. To be honest with you, I can't think of anything else for wet race. That I'd go with the Panaracer, simple as that. So thanks for the question, Ben. I hope that has sorted you out. This question comes to us from David of the UK, and his question is, hi, is it possible to get a good titanium gravel bike that you can swap wheels running 40mm or larger tyres and then install 25 or 28mm road tyres to have a reasonably fast road bike? He mostly rides road, but he's really interested in getting away from the main roads to hit some trails. He'd like to get a type bike, and he's struggling to work his way through a plethora of choices. Also, it's a bunch of money, but he wants to try to pick the bike correctly the first time. He's looked at bikes by Linsky, Moots, the Curve Belgian, and Lightspeed. He also wants to know if I've tried the Open U.P. It seems like it'd be fast on the road and a good gravel bike, but it's carbon, and he wonders about the durability, particularly if he crashes. Okay, so David, honestly, titanium is my favourite material for gravel riding and racing, etc. The two bikes I've got experience with, titanium-wise, are the Linsky GR250 and the Lightspeed T5G gravel bike. Lightspeed T5G, the review you can see on gravelcyclist.com. The GR250, I'm close to finishing the review on that bike. Either one of those would suit you very well for what you're looking to do. Both can clear a 40mm tyre, no problems at all. And I have ridden the Lightspeed with road tyres actually on a group ride. I was a little bit undergeared, but I had no problems, and the bike handles very well on the road, has exceptional manners, and again, the Linsky is the same. As for the other choices you mentioned, the Moots and the Curve Belgian, I haven't ridden those machines. I'm sure they're quite fine. The Open U.P, that's a lovely bike. Obviously, you did mention the durability issues of carbon. In fact, there's a carbon bike right beside me, the Orbea Terra, which I'm going to be riding at Dirty Kanza this year. Carbon, if you're going to use a carbon bike, I really recommend you cover the down tube in some kind of plastic mylar clear material to help protect the frame from rock hits and other sensitive areas such as the chainstays. But it is pretty difficult to go past the titanium gravel bike. So I just go back to the two brands I mentioned, the Lightspeed and the Linsky. Hard to go wrong with those two choices, so good luck. Patrick of Littleton, Colorado has written into us, and his question is, my new CoMotion Klatch is built with 700 by 36 Clement MSO tubeless tyres. The recommended tyre pressure is between 40 to 60 psi. He's been riding at 40 psi and he weighs 185 pounds. How much lower could I go in tyre pressure, or should I go with a bigger tyre? Patrick, if that was up to me, I would definitely go with the bigger tyre. I'd run a 40, and your weight, you could probably drop it down to 38, maybe 35 on the rear. Probably 33 max on the front. You have to be careful you wouldn't bottom out or possibly burp the tyre depending on the rim you're running it with. But bigger is better sometimes in gravel, and I think you should definitely choose the bigger of the two Clement tyres that are available. Thanks for your question. This question comes from Brad of Pennsylvania, and he writes, I saw your article on the Hawk Racing Press Fit 30 bottom bracket. Are these still your go-to bottom bracket? I just did the Raputitsa race in Vermont and conditions were a hot mess. I left with a bottom bracket that sounds like a rusty hamster wheel. Shin deep mud and hours of rain-soaked gravel and salt roads left my drivetrain looking pretty toasted. I've got everything looking and sounding good with the exception of my bottom bracket. It is completely cooked. Any thoughts on the Hawk Racing bottom brackets these days? And have you tried the Chris King Press Fit bottom brackets? Brad, so the Hawk Racing bottom brackets are an excellent product. That is one of my go-tos, definitely. They make an option with enhanced seals for muddy conditions, and it does kind of slow down the rotation of the bottom bracket a smidge. That's a very smooth bottom bracket. The seals are superb on these bottom brackets. Definitely worth checking that out. Another bottom bracket I'm reviewing right now, it's made by C-Bear, C-Bear. It's a Belgian company, and they sponsor the Lotto Soudal racing team in the World Tour. And I don't want to spoil the review just yet, but that bottom bracket has seen some serious punishment on the Linsky bike I've been reviewing. That's another brand you should consider, C-Bear. Look up the website. As for the Chris King, I haven't messed with that bottom bracket at all. Now, if it's anything like the headsets, it probably has to be amazing. Chris King product is superb. So the three choices I mentioned are probably your go-to. But always, whenever you finish one of these races in disgusting conditions, always go over your drivetrain and make sure that nothing needs replacing. In Brad's case, the bottom bracket. Thanks for your question, Brad. This question comes from a bloke who calls himself the Gravel Weenie, and he's out of Montana. His question is, let's say for hypothetical purposes that you wanted to get your gravel bike as light as possible. What would you do? Mr. Weenie, that depends on how much money you have available in your bank account, because the lighter the bike, the lighter the wallet. So assuming you have a lot of funds to spend, the first thing to look at, wheels. Go lightweight on the wheels. That's the biggest immediate and noticeable difference of a lightweight bike. Also, carbon fiber, you cannot dispute its lightweight qualities and strength. There's so many frames available, I'm not going to make any suggestions there. There's also other tricks you can do, and they all involve carbon fiber, crank sets, handlebar, seat posts. You can go lightweight on saddles, but don't forget, sometimes you might be foregoing some comfort if you decide to go down this road. And you can also optimize things like bolts on the bike, titanium bolts, for example. Interestingly enough, I'm trying to say, I've got my own lightweight gravel bike project in the works. It's close to being finished. It will be posted on the website soonish. But thanks for your question. Be prepared to spend some money, Mr. Weenie. Thank you. We've got another question here, and this bloke calls himself Boz, B-O-Z, or B-O-C, as the Americanos would say. And he's from Bozeman, sorry, that's in Montana. Another Montana bloke. Interesting. Okay, what's the penalty for singing AC/DC songs while on a group training ride? Okay, this guy must know a few of my friends, because it's pretty common occurrence between my teammate K-Dog, he's 60-something years of age, the codger, anyway, and myself, and we often sing AC/DC songs badly, I might admit, on group training rides. And our friend, Dr. Payne, likes to attack us whenever we try to sing because he believes we have no talent. So, you know, there's a lot of people out there who are haters, so don't be hating on the talent. We're having fun on our bike rides. So sing on your bike rides, have a blast, and if you get attacked because of it, just say, let that dude go. Bye-bye, mate. We're going to keep singing back here and having a blast. So, dude, sing some AC/DC, whatever you want. Frank Sinatra, anything goes on bike rides. Thanks for the question.
Traveling in a freighter